This is what they do. Sitting with them on the air on it. That's what we've been talking about. Y'all need anything?
And maybe she went to help South.
Usually in this right here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got to the side of this.
That was probably the easiest one because she was still looking.
Yeah.
And Steve.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, she went over there to talk to you.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna get started. If I turn your phone off, I was running a little late because I've lost my wedding band. But my wife said, "Go get you one." I was like, "Karen, I'm 44 years old, overweight, bald. Ain't nobody want one." So I had to go to Walmart and buy these fake rubber ones. That's what I looks like John's got one on too. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, very. Come on in, York. Hold my big one.
Who's this guy keeps
Thank you. All right, guys, I already started meeting. I want to wait and let everybody come in. If you don't mind, make sure you set phone off. I always, for some reason, leave mine on. It's worked out for everybody. I want to welcome everybody. John, you want to go ahead and start?
Father, we come before you. I want to thank you for your love and your mercy towards us. Help us, God, that we would do things that would be beneficial, profitable. God, I want to thank you for today, for this gathering. It looked like a good crowd. Lord, I know that the greatest privilege that we have in life is when we can fall down on our knees, lift our voice toward heaven, and worship you. God, I'm glad that you have allowed to give us the opportunity to serve you. Pray that each one of us will take advantage of it. Father, we'll praise you. Jesus, sweet on the name. Amen.
All right, pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome visitors. First is approval of the agenda. I hear a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
Second. John?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, next is approval of minutes, July 2019. Do I hear a motion, approval of the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of July 2019.
Terry, I have a second.
I second.
Kenny. John?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next we have the donation request for the Richlands High School Band. Does anybody know how much it is? I haven't seen anything on it. Is it in here again? I didn't see
She
it.
didn't give us anything, she kind of talked to you over the phone,
Is there a certain amount that they had said, or just looking,
just any of
Miss, what is it, Miss Richlands High School Band? It's up to y'all, or we can maybe find out what they're looking for. Or if y'all got a recommendation, or Kenny, or whoever.
Check and see maybe what you give them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You remember giving them anything before, Jerry, or?
Yeah, we did a call.
If you could find out maybe that, or maybe, you know, if y'all wanna, approve what we did before, or if y'all wanna.
We did give them $200 before, I think, is what we did on that. Is that right?
I don't know.
I can't remember, I know we have given.
I can look.
I think they gave us $200, but I'm not sure.
I make a motion to give them what they did last year.
I got a motion on the floor that we wanna give them what they got last year after Jennifer looked. So, got a second.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, manufactured home ordinance and variance to ordinance update. Do you have that?
It's in your agenda. It's here. I got it here. I got the original, and then we amended the ordinance and the planning commission. Mr. Farley, do you want to quarterback this, or how we did that?
Has everyone had an opportunity to read it?
Did y'all have an opportunity to read it? Judge Lane? No?
I have not.
Terry?
Hey.
Kenny? Did you have a chance to look at it?
I was on the planning commission, so I heard it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And Tim was there.
I was not at the meeting, so I'm kind of unvocal. But I've heard something about it, so what's going on here?
We made an amendment to the, it's section 17.1-25, the mobile home park location. 17.1-25, you got section A and B, but we did a extra section B1. And this is just to allow certain mobile homes, it will still be voted on case by case, subject to all setback or other restrictions or prohibitions in the ordinances or comprehensive plan of the town by an affirmative vote of council. No more than one mobile home may be placed on a tract of land as defined in section B above. No such tract of land shall be granted approval by council more than once. So what that's saying is no land can be subdivided more than one time. And with that being said, you know, it's still a case-by-case basis because the majority of the town's covered in the comprehensive plan. So the comprehensive plans like here in Cedar Bluff, Old Kentucky Turnpike, here on Central Avenue, all this is comprehensive plan. Now, when you get outside the comprehensive plan, you go from Perch Peak and all that, you go to like Edgewater Drive, Indian Creek, Middle Creek. Those places are not covered by the comprehensive plan, but they are covered through an ordinance. So, you know, and that's what we basically voted on here. We amended our ordinance for when we did that last vote for Randy and Judy Yost when they was wanting to subdivide some land in Middle Creek. So I got Mr. Carmody to look at that, and of course we brainstormed. We had probably an hour and a half, 2 hour meeting at the planning commission. We kicked around everything, and Mr. Carmody come up with this. This is not a fix-all, be-all, but this is a temporary band-aid to the solution, because there's still other rules and regulations. I mean, still other criteria that you got to meet before you do it. So with that being said, we approved it on a unanimous vote in the planning commission, but now it's still up to the council here. You know, they just because they approved it don't mean it's written in stone and approved. So
Basically, well, if y'all, if that's how you want it, we need to adopt, if you want to adopt it, wait a second.
the reason we did it that way, you want me to read on section B?
Well, yeah, that's the only thing we changed, right?
Right. The reason we I'm glad I turned my phone off, I'm getting a phone call. This is what section B says, and we did an addition to B and did B1. A mobile home park shall not be developed on the same tract of land with any structure, dwelling, or business except other mobile home units or accessory buildings or accessory structures to a mobile unit. For purposes of this section, tract of land shall mean the area surrounding any structure, dwelling, or business which has traditionally been maintained as or used as an accessory to such structure, dwelling, or business, including but not limited to a lawn, a parking area, a storage area, a garden, an animal lot, or orchard, regardless of lot number or tract number, and regardless of whether on one or more real estate tax tickets. So basically, with that being said, that was anything. You know what I mean? That's that when they put this in place, they were so anti-mobile home at that time. That's anything. I mean, that's garden spot. I mean, that's across the board. So we did a subsection to that section, which is B1. And that, I read it first, I'll read it to you again. It says, subject to all setback or other restrictions or prohibitions in the ordinances or comprehensive plan of the town, by an affirmative vote of council, no more than one mobile home may be placed on a tract of land, as defined in B above. No such tract of land shall be granted approval by council more than once. So, you know, we're saying in certain areas, and those areas are not in the comprehensive plan. So, you know, and it cannot be subdivided more than once. So, you know, I didn't have a problem. We voted unanimous with the planning commission. So that's our recommendation, Mr. Shepherd, Mr. Dye.
Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion, Jerry?
This applies to all sections of the town or all areas of the
No.
town. That can be done without going against the comprehensive plan and it don't just apply to Middle Creek, in other words, that's what I'm asking.
No.
Okay.
I had some time to reflect on this after our meeting, and what bothers me, and I drove through these other sections,
Right.
is that, number one, it puts it in the hands of the council to approve it or disapprove it. What criteria is council going to use to make that approval? It would have to be related to, what's the criteria?
Right.
That if, to tell somebody no if they meet all these requirements,
Right.
or to tell somebody yes if a neighbor says no, you know, says they're
Right,
like,
right.
who we're gonna side with. All applications going to be, if they meet the requirements, be given due process and then approved. And if not, then what do we use as fairness? So you can be approved, but you don't be approved.
Right. Right.
And the other thing that I dealt with was, it's in a way it says homeowners on Edgewater and Indian Creek and
Middle Creek.
Middle Creek don't get the same benefit of being in town as those in the comprehensive plans.
Right.
So there are homes along these areas that have potential of someone putting one in the backyard that wouldn't be afforded that if they were in that area. So those are just two things that I dwell
Right.
on after our meeting, with the
Yeah.
planning commission, is that who says, how are we going to determine who says gets the affirmative vote and who gets the negative vote?
Yeah, and you make an excellent point, Mr. Trent. You still gotta have your setback requirements. You know, you gotta be like 20 or 25 feet. I got the charter back there, but it's 20 or 25 feet off the road, so many feet from the adjoining property owner's fence line, and so many feet from an existing structure. So once you go into all those details of all those different variables, you gotta have a pretty large tract to have it set to subdivide it. So you see what I'm saying? But I totally agree with what you're saying. It's going to be it's a slippery slope. It's going to be a case by case basis, and you know, that's the best that we could come up with at the time. Like I said, our planning commission was how long, Mr. Carmody? It was almost a couple hours long, wasn't it? I mean, you know, we kicked it around. We stayed on that one subject forever. I mean,
Yeah, we didn't talk much about football or anything.
No, we didn't get to talk about football.
So is this something you want to put back on the agenda? Do you want to
No,
buy some
I'm
stuff?
just saying that.
That's,
I was an affirmative vote. With-
right.
Reflecting on it later and going around, thinking, well, if I'm at home, then, why are some residents getting the benefit of this ordinance and others not? I mean, and that to me might be unequal treatment.
Right. And like I told the planning commission when we met, the good thing about this is you can always go back through the planning commission again to really hold the real estate values up. Someone mentioned about mobile home parks in Middle Creek and all that. And I said, well, hey, Mr. Smith, can Johnny hear me?
Yeah.
I said, the good thing about, if you're able to change out and all that, you can upgrade your mobile homes, upgrade your property value. And, but if you're restricted where you can't move mobile homes in or move mobile homes out, people say, well, it's an eyesore to the community. Well, you can't blame them if they don't pull them off their lot, just because if they pull them off, they can't put them back. So, it's a double-edged sword, so I don't know what the answer is.
I gotta say what I want to say, that's all.
Yeah. What do you think, Eric?
I'll try to say that.
I mean, it's a tough, we did talk about on the planning commission that we could revisit and every few years and up our ordinance where a mobile home could be no less than like 5 years old, before it's placed in the town or in those areas, just to make sure you hold the property values up around. That way somebody, if you approve someone, they don't stick a 1960 trailer in there, I mean, you want them up to standard codes and to the standard building codes. So with that being said, I mean, we kicked around everything, didn't we, Mr. Trent? We really did.
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the manufactured home ordinance update.
Adopt and waive the second reading.
Adopt and waive it. Yes.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to adopt and waive the second reading. Do I have a second?
Okay.
You want that to take effect immediately?
Needed.
Got a second? John?
Ken,
I said we got a second. I was waiting for John to.
I'll vote aye.
Aye.
No.
No.
So this is what,
it's a tie vote.
I know that. We've been together so long, I'm sorry, don't answer for me.
You could break it again, that.
To adopt.
I mean, do you feel like it needs something added? Is that what you're?
No, I say what I need to say.
I'll justify my vote. I feel like it's a bit discriminatory. And we gotta look at the future. If you do it for one, it's a problem for the next person. That's why I voted no.
Well, I must be under misunderstanding, because I thought it would apply to all residents within the town that could fall within the guidelines of this setbacks and all of that. I was under the understanding that that's what it was. It wasn't just for Middle Creek, it was for
No, it's for any area.
any area
It's not prohibited
under the
for some other
setbacks,
reason.
under the setbacks.
So the comprehensive plan prohibits it, and,
And that's-
not allowed for that reason. And if the setback is wrong, then it's not allowed for that reason.
in a sense, I guess, it applies, it still applies the same as the mobile home park ordinance right now, the setbacks and everything, but it applies for the whole town, not just one particular area.
If you're not knocked out for some other reason, then the council could.
So it applies to all residents in the town that can fall within the setbacks and guidelines and all that of the mobile home ordinance.
You understand? I mean, I know it's been going
Yeah,
on. It's been going on for a few
I just want to
months.
clarify that, I want to make sure that it's for all residents, not just one yard, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm up. Yes.
Ordinance passes 4-3.
First got the original.
All right.
What you'll have to do is record all the ayes and nays there. You have to add an aye to the negative.
Next is the Charlie Kids crosswalk. Did you have, who had the stuff on the Charlie Kids crosswalk?
I never had it.
Well, I can tell you what it is. I mean, does anybody know? I mean, I know some.
I was going to ask you to put back to since we run the town when he was here, I felt like it needed to be brought back.
Yeah.
The council and resolved and put up.
Right. What they're wanting to do is, they're wanting to put a plaque out here for Charlie Kids. He pretty much, this is what I hear, this is what I've always heard. He was pretty much the police department, the road maintenance, the trash guy, pretty much did a lot of stuff. So, and he loved the kids, is what I heard. And he done the crosswalk and stuff. So they want to take this crosswalk out here and put a plaque for the Charlie Kids crosswalk. Because basically it would come up like 4 months ago. We got to put back on the agenda, Kenny did, so I appreciate you putting that back on. But, that's what it's about. So is there any discussion about it? I mean, I know, sure.
Is it something we need to check with VDOT on?
I don't think you would have to, because you'll just be putting a plaque on the
Yeah, I
side
would
of
check
the
that.
road. But, it wouldn't hurt to.
Gotcha.
I checked with them, they said it's okay.
Okay.
I make a motion that we do that.
I'll second it.
I'll vote aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, the scheduled speaker tonight, I got you first. Linda, do you want to go in order? Do you want to get this presentation?
No, it's all right.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Good evening. This evening, I'm glad we've got a good crowd here tonight because I like to give you a little brief history of the Business and Professional Association. Several years ago, we got some of our residents together and discussed about having an event in Cedar Bluff. I was only 2. You're supposed to laugh. We wanted to share the history of the area and town to show our young people how everything came about in our area. We had retired teachers, business people, and homemakers for our very first meeting that we had. Our first event that we had was right here in the town square, and they served pinto beans and cornbread. And Dr. Terry Morse and Jim made covers for tables, and they put pictures of Cedar Bluff going way back for everybody to look at. We did this event several years and named it Yesterday in Cedar Bluff. This event went over so good, we decided to add some music. We added crafts of all different kinds. We had apple butter making. We had Old Jonah, who told stories, quilt display, spinning of yarn, soap making, Civil War display with a cannon that fired one time across the river and scared everyone to death. We have added more music and also included for the children and adults. We had the Vietnam Memorial Wall at the high school, and the community appreciated that so very much. In fact, we got everybody involved in that event. We have had a replica of H.L. Hunley. That was the Civil War submarine. I don't know if y'all remember that or not, but last year we had the WW1 and WW2 trailer where our community could have replica letters and things. And these items they would scan and they go in the library in Richmond. So we were so thrilled to have that. We've had a stagecoach, show cars, barbecue contests, ponies, rides for children. This year we have Food City that's going to be participating with lots of other fun things. I've talked to the Veterans Trailer from the VA Center in Johnson City. He's coming over. He's going to answer a lot of questions for the VAs. And so we'll have him here. This is just a short story of how long this has gone on with volunteers. We formed the Cedar Bluff Business and Professional Association several years ago, and with its help, we can say we have helped school groups, local churches, farmers, and families by having the Cedar Bluff Heritage Festival. Each year, we feed our veterans and do a parade before they go over to the program at Cedar Bluff Elementary School. We, as the Cedar Bluff Business and Professional Association, have also a Christmas caroling at the gazebo, where we've even had the Mountain Mission School, not once, but they've been there several times. We again had the honor to help just recently with the POW MIA dedication at the park. We thank you all for being there. Thank the police. Thank you, Terry, for your lights, John. All of you all, we thank you so much. This summer we had 2 car cruise-ins with entertainment, plus Brad Ratniff, he had the 2 movies up here, and we thank him for doing that. We also had some bands up here. This fall, we will again have the S'mores and Wars and a Halloween event at the school. We like to ask council, out of proper courtesy and good policy for the town, to always work with the Cedar Bluff Business and Professional Association on all community events, like we have always in the past. Please make this a simple policy tonight. Also, we are always watching our money for events and cutting down on unnecessary expenditures. We are volunteers but have to pay for all entertainment and extra workers. We are again asking for $2,000 for the Cedar Bluff Business and Professional Association. I would also like to tell you, we have always made this a family event, always. We appreciate our town employees, our police department, and all of the town for everything that you all done in promoting this festival. We want you all to mark your calendars for Cedar Bluff Heritage Festival. The night of the 20th, we are having the Beach Night Band up here at Brad's, and then the 21st is the festival. So come and show your support, okay? Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim Ray. When was you needing the answer on the 2,000? I didn't know if y'all discussed it or.
Well, when you know, you can.
All right, is that something y'all just want to table for next time? Y'all want to talk about it now? Or
Well, this is August, our festival is September
So we
21st.
need to do something tonight.
Okay. Well, the floor is yours.
Do we need to talk to John? Are we pretty good to do that?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I'll make a motion that we give the business professional $2,000 for the festival.
I second.
Aye.
Jim Ray, is anybody here to speak for him, or is it just good?
It was a wonderful event.
Yeah, I heard
It really
that.
was. We had the VFW there.
You wanna say
You
something?
talk about, you were there.
Jim was, he's probably tied up or something, busy. But, if you haven't been up there, Terry was up there several times trying to get those lights on. He did get them on that night. The tower that has the names on it, there's approximately 80,000 unaccounted for in the World War I, II, Korea, and Vietnam. They have the names from Virginia are on the tower up there. And it lights up at night. They did the 50 state flag tour. They did that once, if you remember. They started it again, and it will. It's up in New England right now, but it will wind up. You remember when he said that?
April the 26th.
He gave me two
Yes.
different dates, just,
Okay. But it will wind up back in Cedar Bluff
Come back to Bristol and be escorted from Bristol
to here, right?
So it's gonna be a big
And
event
that
for us.
there is a missing man chair up there. They put in a couple of tables. It is real nice. And Jim and his group did all of that. The Richlands. Anybody here in the Lions Club in Richlands? I think they furnished a lot of the money for power and everything.
All of it.
So they really went to bat on that. It's nice. And other than that, I don't know. I hadn't talked to Jim in the last few days, so I don't know what else he was going to say. But that was a very impressive ceremony that night, and it got some TV coverage.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we'll get this present.
First of all, Mayor Dye, John Asher, Council, thank you all for giving me the opportunity to be hired as a school resource officer. I know this is a grant-based position, okay, it's on a year basis, so I will make sure I do my best to make sure that when we apply for the grant next year, that we do get it again, okay? All right, what I've got here is a PowerPoint presentation slide that I got ready for this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, lights are killed, nobody fall asleep. It's been 12 years since I've done one of these, so hopefully it works. All right, this is the new morning school traffic pattern that we have come up with, okay? First of all, student safety at Cedar Bluff Elementary is a top priority, okay? We can all agree on that, okay? This new pattern is for morning traffic only between the hours of 7:30 a.m. and 8 a.m. Maybe 8:10 according to who's late and who's not, okay? This will not have anything to do with the evening traffic pattern where cars park along Cedar Valley Drive, just as they've done in the past, okay? The evening traffic pattern will stay the same. I will be out every morning in front of the Cedar Bluff Elementary School directing the traffic to make sure that everything flows smoothly and without any congestion. Okay, continuous flow is what we're looking at. Again, the main purpose of this traffic pattern is to keep Cedar Valley Drive free of congestion. Alright, the new traffic route, what we're going to do is all vehicles who are dropping their kids off in the morning will go down and turn onto River Road at the old mill. This will be a one lane of travel on River Road towards Central Avenue. It will not be 2 lanes of travel, it will be one. Because by putting 2 lanes of travel on River Road, you are violating the law by driving on the wrong side of the road, in which we cannot enforce that. So it's going to be 1 lane of travel. If you are leaving River Road, if the residents who live on River Road or Central Avenue, you will be able to travel and exit without any problems. Okay? All vehicles who are dropping their kids off will travel all the way up to River Road and will make a left-hand turn on Central Avenue. Again, I can't stress this enough, it will be a one lane of travel. If you are leaving River Road or Central Avenue, you will be able to travel and exit without any problems or confusions. Once school vehicles pass the town hall, they will then take a right onto the school property, which is behind the town council here. I will be having the lead vehicle pull up as far as possible to Cedar Valley Drive. There is actually a cone out here that we have set up. That's where the lead car will be parked at for the kids. So we can let as many kids out as possible at one time. There will be 2 teachers standing outside to make sure that the kids get out of the vehicles and into the school safely. I have asked the parents not to park or sit in their vehicles for a long period of time. Okay, the purpose of this is to pull up, drop your child off, and continue on your way. This will create a continuous flow without causing any congestion or traffic backup. When leaving the school property, all vehicles are going to make a right onto Cedar Valley Drive. Okay, this does not go with vehicles. If you live on Central Avenue and you're leaving and you pull up to Central, you can make a left or a right. This is just for the parents who drop their kids off. They are to make a right. If they need to get back into the town of Richlands, they can go turn left on Maple and end up on Old Kentucky Turnpike, or they can all go down to the the furniture store and take a left that way. Okay, 30 seconds to a minimum tops out of your way. Okay. Again, when leaving the school property, no left-hand turn will be made onto Cedar Valley Drive between 7:30 and 8. The purpose of this, again, like I stated, is for the residents who are leaving Central Avenue to make a left or a right-hand turn without causing any traffic problems with vehicles that are leaving the school. At the bottom of the letter, which all the council members have, it says that you will not be allowed to pull into Central Avenue from Cedar Valley Drive from 7:30 to 8. This does not apply to the residents that live on Central Avenue or River Road. This is just intended for the parents only who are dropping their kids off. All residents, again, who live on Central Avenue and River Road will be able to pull into and exit Central Avenue from Cedar Valley Drive anytime they wish. Alright, this is in case of emergency, okay? I have met and spoke with the Richlands Fire and Rescue Captain Gordon Russ about the new traffic pattern and what we're trying to do. He stated to me that he will not have any problems getting any ambulances into River Road or Central Avenue in case of an emergency. If there is an emergency, I will have my portable radio on with me at all times. If there are any rescue calls onto Central Avenue or River Road, I will have enough time to make sure that the roadway is completely clear to the residents, so that way that they can get to the residents as quickly as possible. Okay, we did a study and research on this. For 1 week, Chief Brown sat at Singleton's funeral home parking lot between the hours of 7:30 and 8:10 a.m. and he watched the traffic that had turned into and exiting Cedar Valley Drive. He also was able to watch the traffic that was turning into and exiting River Road. This is going to be broken down by day for 1 week. Okay? On July the 24th, between 7:30 and 8:10, there were 3 vehicles in 40-minute time span that turned into Central Avenue from Cedar Valley Drive. There was only 4 vehicles that exited Central Avenue and turned onto Cedar Valley Drive. So in 40 minutes, a total of 7 cars in and out. On July 25th, between 7:30 and 8:10, there were 7 vehicles that turned into Central Avenue from Cedar Valley Drive. Out of those 7 vehicles that were turning in, 3 of the 7 were employees. 2 of the vehicles exited Central Avenue and onto Cedar Valley Drive. July 26th, 3 vehicles turned into Central Avenue from Cedar Valley. 1 of the 3 was a town employee. 4 vehicles exited Central Avenue and turned onto Cedar Valley Drive. July 29th, 5 vehicles turned into Central Avenue. 2 of the 5 were town employees. 2 vehicles exited Central Avenue and turned on the Cedar Valley Drive. And on the 30th, 3 vehicles, 2 of the 3 were employees. 3 vehicles exited Central Avenue and turned on the Cedar Valley Drive. The 31st, 3 vehicles turned in, 2 of the 3 were employees. 3 vehicles exited Central Avenue. In the 1 week span, and this is on and off the River Road, in a 1 week span, 5 vehicles in 7 days turned into River Road from Cedar Valley Drive. Alright? 14 vehicles exited River Road and turned on the Cedar Valley Drive. And again, that's from River Road. Okay? Now, the last thing I want to add here is that today, I actually got to speak with John Watson. Alright? John Watson is the residency administrator for VDOT for Tazewell County. Alright, he serves 4 counties, Tazewell County is one of his. Alright, I spoke with him today on the phone for several minutes. He stated to me that if town council approves this new traffic flow, new traffic pattern, to go ahead and proceed with it, and that he will personally, in person, come down either at the end of this week or the beginning of next week and meet with me and John Atcher to go over for us to show him in person the new traffic pattern. And that's all I got.
Would there, one more from the planning commission, you mentioned that you'd ask for, because there was some concerns about it, you'd ask,
Right.
you mentioned that there'd be a 30-day.
There's gonna be a 1 month trial period, okay? Alright, this is not a,
Just for the week.
it's not
We discussed it, it was for the week.
this is not a set in stone plan, okay? Not everything's gonna be perfect, okay? If there is a problem, okay, and we see that it's gonna cause congestion and backup on Central Avenue, then what we'll do is we'll go back to the original thing of what we did last year and just have all the parents pull in on Central Avenue, and we'll just work with the traffic congestion from there. Okay? What this is intended to do is to keep Cedar Valley Drive free and clear of the congestion. Because you got people going to and from work, to and from the post office, and stuff like that. Kind of hard to get where you need to go if it's all backed up. Alright, that's all I got. Thank you.
Hey, Ryan. Is it all right if I take you out of order just for a second? Sure. Because with you speaking, I'd like to go ahead and if anybody is here to speak on that.
I would like to.
Okay, come on up.
What are you putting on paper
We
and all
still have
this?
some of the comments, just the people in the area concerns. I want y'all to talk to, because the council's here to listen.
My name is Dean Slade and I live on River Road. And with all these people back here that came to discuss this, we've done been through this, down this road, 3 times that I know of. Every one of them, chalks this road up to where you can't get in and you can't get out. This pattern that he's put up here, that's if everything works well. You know, but it ain't gonna work well, because we done that. Been to, 4 chief of polices, Dave Mills, Matt Deal, Sean, and Mike. Now, Mike, first thing we want to do, let's put this traffic, get it off of Main Street out here. This traffic that comes up and down through here in the morning and all like that, you put this date up here, this was when everybody was, no teachers, you got teachers and people that didn't go to work. You didn't see that mess out there. And nobody else in here had seen this mess either, other than Jerry, you, Ken, and Terry. And the thing about it is, he says he spoke to everybody, got this approved. Well, I got a letter right here at, on this traffic by the town of Cedar Bluff. It says, reference to the Cedar Bluff traffic, dear Mrs. Crabtree, at the regular meeting held on February the 14th, 2017,
the town of Cedar Bluff Council reviewed the possibility of opening River Road to access the back of Cedar Bluff Elementary School traffic. Once again, we hear from the residents of River Road strongly opposing this traffic plan. Following the decision of the purpose of alternating school traffic on River Road, the council voted, you people, other than Joe Blair and Preacher over here, and Tim and Brown was the two that was with y'all and voted for this right here. And said, from the decision of purpose of alternating route of the River Road, the council voted to request that the Cedar Bluff Elementary School not reroute school traffic on River Road due to traffic congestion that would create a residential neighborhood. This ain't this ain't Interstate 81 back here, or 460. I mean, it's a one-lane road, basically, just like he said, for this traffic. And it said, which would create in the neighborhood of River Road, due to the traffic congestion, it would create this residential neighborhood located along the dead-end street, which I'm on up there. In addition to a daily access problem for the residents, the school traffic would also block any needed emergency vehicles from River Road. The council expressed appreciation for the changes to have been made to the school traffic pattern and is in consensus that the traffic flow has been greatly improved and is currently working to the satisfaction of the majority of all affected current patterns and residents. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Your concern about this to the impact traffic in this neighborhood is thankless. Sincerely, James K. McLaughlin, Town Manager. Dated the 14th day, 2017, 2 years and a half ago. So this right here proves that it's not safe. I mean, they can do all of the diagrams and all this crazy stuff, but these are people that own this property back there, and these are people that are going to destroy their lives. Are y'all ready to take the responsibility for it? For one of them backing out that school traffic and get killed or run over like these elderly residents here? Is that what you want to do? Is that what you want to do, Terry? Johnny, you're a resident.
On this letter right here that Jim wrote, was that to go in behind your house and in?
No, it was not.
Because that's what I thought he said that was.
No,
Keep it going, through the school park.
No, it was coming right around here on River Road to get to Center Street, to get to this right here. That's exactly what it is. But you're just abusing the people is what you're doing with this traffic back there. I mean, right here, I got a petition signed by 38 people that lives back there. 38 people. And a business down there of Jeff that said there's no way he wanted any more traffic than what he's got right now, and you know him. Yeah. And what I want to ask you, are y'all for this, or are y'all ready to throw these people under the bus? Taxpayers, property owners, for these people that comes out of Claypole Hill, Wardell, down Richlands, Bandy, Busthead, them people that don't pay no taxes, and them people that can bring their kids right in here to school with no problem. They had no problem for 2.5 years with Sean and that man right there, Danny Brown. No problem with it. And now we get a new chief here, what you do? Go around the street out here. You sat on my back porch and told me, didn't you? Right on my back porch. And said I didn't even know this was back here. Said I can see.
I voted to not go behind the school.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, that was that's part of it. That was part of the traffic.
All right, let me ask you a question. You were sitting up here like we are.
Yeah.
Do you have any solutions?
Do I have a solution?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your solution to this problem?
My solution to the problem is you go right out here, take them up Indian Creek, put it on this brand new paved 2-lane road that you got out here, bring it out here to the stop sign, put your police officer out there just like Terry is up to high school, let it bleed in here, turn in right here, stop the traffic coming from Richlands. These people right here coming down out of Indian Creek, they can make a right and go up Claypole Hill or get in line and wait here till the traffic. They drop these kids off right here, everything's safe, nobody's gonna get hurt, nobody, stealing no kids or running over them or anything. And that right there, and it takes one person right there. And you say you got two you're gonna do, so put one down there and one right here, And that's it, that's all you have to do. It's simple.
They're asking for a 1 month trial to see if
No, I'm not asking for no 1 month trial.
Police are.
No, they're asking for 1 month trial. I say not do it period, because once you get the foot in the door with all this traffic, they'll want to come down there in the evening and start coming up through there the evening too. Exactly, you know how people work, how the brain works. And that's my theory, and all these 38 people that lives on these places, and all that exhaust fumes and everything coming up through there, with these people that's got their flyers and their yards manicured and try to sit on the porch and live their life out where they pay for their property. And now y'all gonna vote for this and say yes, let's take this pattern here and destroy their lives? It's on your hands. You got that? And are you for it?
No.
Huh?
Only reason I had VDOT call me today, and I respect everything the chief does and all my officers, but I was put here I'm for y'all. Y'all voted for me. That's who I'm here for. But what I did.
In other words, you ain't for you're
I'll tell you
not for
exactly
the traffic.
Let me explain what I did. I rode River Road myself. I got 2 kids over here to school. The traffic never bothered me in the mornings because I thought it was actually quicker than the evenings. But the only problem, and I talked to the chief, I said, we've tried this before, but I would never tell him that. Because if he makes a decision, that's his job. Y'all voted him on, that's his job. I know my job as a mayor. So I went and rode River Road. My only concern I have is the way we keep it out here. You're not going to buy houses, you're not taking a chance. I'm just saying, the only reason I'm saying this is because I got 2 attorneys in the family. And I didn't know really how bad meth was around here. I didn't know how bad drugs were around here. I really didn't. I guess I'm done with that stuff. And I just don't want, I love elderly people. I love you, Dean. I love everybody in this town. But I'm just saying, and I told you one time, I can't be mean to people. So I just have a concern that, and me and John don't agree on this, and that's fine. I ain't gonna agree with half these guys, and they don't agree with me, but that's being adults. But I have a problem with maybe somebody riding down there and, throwing a dirty needle in Miss Dye's yard. I wouldn't like that. I'm not saying the people, and I don't even know the people, but the people live up here on the corner. The last time they did, cars kept turning in, they kept going in their yard.
These ladies right back here.
Kept going in their yard and stuff. And I didn't
Right
want
here. These folks right here.
I just didn't want to mess their yards up. And then also, I just don't want, somebody come down through and they pass out. Now, I know it can happen anywhere, or they run into a home, or, I had a lot of concerns come up, so I fished around myself, and I had a lady on the street. I told her I wouldn't tell her name. She said, I live by myself, and I'm afraid maybe these people are casing my house when they drive by. That ain't the word she used, casing, but she said stalking me. She said, I don't know if these people are looking at my house thinking I have money, or maybe they know they know I live alone, or they know what hours I'm here. And I said, well, they could do that anytime. I mean, that could go on any time. I hadn't really nothing to do with that part, but no, I wasn't for it. Mike came up and we sat down, and I told him, I said, I'm going to support you, and I always will. But, and I told him, I said, what's the problem? And it was a bottleneck. Correct?
Yes, sir.
I said,
Where's the bottleneck
hold on, let
at?
me explain this. I said, let's leave everything the same, and when traffic comes out, make them right. Just like we talked.
Yeah.
I mean, that way we
I
don't mess
agree with
the
that
neighborhood.
100%. That's the part
The
that I agree
neighborhood's
with.
protected. I don't, I don't know. And me and you talked about it. A lot of people's for it. I was just against it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and Mr. Crabtree, no, against you. I got a town to run. That's just how I feel. 2 years, y'all might vote me off. But you know what I'm saying? Y'all might not re-elect me. But that's just, I look at the community, and that just bothered me. And that's how I feel about it. So no, I wouldn't. I'm not for it. But I will support whatever.
And I'm sure if you put Joe's house down there beside us, you'd feel the same way, wouldn't you, Joe?
I might.
Yeah. I mean, you know, not putting you on spot or nothing, but I mean, the truth is the truth. Is that right? So,
Should I ask you what, should I ask you what would you do?
yeah,
I mean, I just don't want people throwing trash out in y'all's yard.
ain't no way, ain't no way.
Or
I'm
texting,
telling
not
you,
paying
if I was
attention.
sitting in your spot, I'd stand up and tell them, hey, no, you ain't doing that, you ain't running these people's life. You know,
Well, I did a study too, and of course I didn't bring my paperwork.
I'm just,
Ryan might be able to look into it for me, but people going 55, 60 mile an hour actually pay a whole lot more attention on the road than what you think. But when you're in a slower stop and go traffic, you're more apt to answer your phone, do your texting, and that's when you rear end somebody, you run into a neighbor's car, knock their mirror off. I mean, then
Yeah.
y'all are gonna come to us, and we're the ones that sets traffic that way, so. And like I said,
every one of the driveways at your, you know, I mean, we don't have no culture section, you know, to turn around in or nothing like that, you know. You got to pull up into your driveway, and then you gotta back out of your yard. I mean, you can go down there and look at every driveway, you got to back out into the main road of the yard. You even try to get out of the morning, and you know how these people are, just, you know, don't let nobody in, don't let nobody in, you know, don't let nobody in or nobody out, you know. And that's where you go. When you done the study, none of the teachers and his wife, Mr. Blankenship's wife, is a secretary at the middle school, you know, and Ronnie Davis and Miss Askew and Mick's mom, you know, and all of them school people, you know, they wasn't coming in and out, you know. So you're gonna have a light traffic pattern on Julie in the middle of July.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying, we're never always right. So that's why I want y'all to come here and voice your opinion. That's what you're here for. You pay your taxes, I want to hear about it.
That's right.
And I promise you, me and this man here don't have no hard feelings against each other, it's just, you know.
Well, I don't either, but I don't want nobody destroying my home or my life.
Right.
I mean, with all the fumes and the traffic and everything, you know, and the trash that they throw out, you know, and they do. I mean, you can ask Miss back here, I can't think of her name now. Lindsay, you can ask him back there about his mother-in-law picking up all of the trash and everything at that. My daughter is on the corner there. This lady stopped and changed her diaper, changed the baby's diaper, right there sitting in the road in that traffic, and wadded up and threw the dirty diaper out in her yard. So that goes on. I mean, that's the reason we don't want it. And we got 38 people that pays their taxes, and Jeff down here, Jeff Taylor, I mean, he is very unsatisfied with bringing it through, because he said, I've got enough trouble with it down here this evening. People coming through my parking lot and almost hitting some of my people. He told me today that walking in and out of the offices down here, they come across my parking lot and going up there and then turning left and getting in that line that comes out of there. And just like I told them, about this thing, if we go out down this way and get over in that left-hand lane, we're on the wrong side of the road. And that car comes from Richlands, turns up River Road and hits me head on, or my wife or somebody like that. It's my fault. I'm on the wrong,
The only
I'm in the
confusion I
passing
had
lane.
was I had a cousin here from Florida, which has always been around here. I drove him up through here and I said, turn down here. And the only problem that I seen was, of course, the road's not marked, correct? So I didn't know, where the middle of the road, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't have the lines. So I didn't know, he said, well, I wouldn't, he goes, my wife's not from here, she would be really confused. And she might even go towards, she said, she might even take a left and actually go towards your place and blow your horn if you come out and open that gate. He said, that's how she is. She don't know nothing about her area. What I'm saying is, it ain't marked. So VDOT said we can't change the flow of traffic, which, I don't know if you spoke to him today. I know you did. I know you did, so, he called me back. That's why I was late, looking for a ring, talking to him on the phone at Walmart. He got to thinking more about it. He said, and I told you, he said, I'm afraid people's gonna start going down here and just making a quick U-turn and somebody's brake rattlers or the fire department and, what's gonna happen then. So, I don't know. I didn't study it like you did. I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm just saying I'm not for it. That's all. I'm not saying I'm right.
Yeah.
By no means. And I'm no better than anybody in here. But I'm just telling you.
And like I I'm sure Johnny wouldn't want it, would you, Johnny? I mean, tell him about your house. I'm sure that, I wouldn't like that. That's exactly right.
He was asking me questions.
And there's more roads that will get you to this school than right back here that they try every time and fail. So there ain't no need of trying. That's what I'm saying. There ain't no, we done been down that, bought the ticket, rode the donkey, you know, the whole 15 yards. So there ain't no need of trying. And 38 people is agreeing with me. And they pay their taxes and they vote.
We appreciate that.
Okay?
Anybody else would like
You
to
said
speak?
30 days is supposed to be in a week.
I know it.
I guess, well, first of all, my name is Courtney Compton. I live at 140 Central, which is like right on the corner down here.
Okay.
Yeah, but everybody calls me Danny, so. I guess my main concern with it is more the human element. Because there are a lot of things that sound very good on paper, but then when you put them into practice, they don't actually work. And so like in theory, I get it. In theory, it should work fine. A lot of things don't though. And I guess a lot of my issue is Richland seems to have quite a few aggressive drivers. And I've noticed it in like the school traffic in the mornings, and I've noticed it just like going to grab something to eat. You know, like you have traffic laws and traffic rules. That doesn't mean that people listen to them. And so I guess my concern is like, you know, they do say that they will prevent the traffic from backing up and blocking us into our driveways and things like that. But I guess my point is, how can you really do that if you're gonna just have like one person at the end of the road and you're not gonna see everything that goes on through there? You're not gonna see the people turning in and driving through my yard, which they do anyway, but they do. And I have to go out and fuss at them. But you know, it's different when it's one or two people every now and then. If it's like a whole line of traffic and they see the first person do it, you know, human nature is sort of monkey see, monkey do. And so if you have one person who's edging out, trying to, because they don't want to be late, everyone's very busy and everyone's very important and they want to get where they're going on time. We're all in such a rush, I think, is part of the problem. Because I've had days where I've sat, even just in like the normal school traffic, sat at the edge of the road and not been able to get out for like 15, 20 minutes. Because I try to, you know, gently put my nose out and people will close that gap. They won't let you out. So I guess my issue is not with the theory of the plan. Because I feel like the theory is sound. But in practice, I just really don't see it working because of the way that human nature is, especially when we're all in such a hurry. And my concern is trying to back out of my driveway and having angry, you know, entitled parents blocking my driveway and being like, well, I'm more important than you. When, I mean, I have an important job just like anybody else does. You know, I go to work and I do everything that I'm supposed to do. And I would just like to be able to keep doing that. That's really all.
Thanks, Ken. Okay, we will have public comments, but I want to go ahead and get
Just a second.
your.
Yes, sir.
Told you,
You did a very good job.
Thank you.
He said half of what I wanted to say. Good. Good. I'm York Lindsay. I do not live on River Road. I have a house there that my mother-in-law lives in, and she's the best. She likes me more than she likes her daughter. Okay? Yeah, that's true. I think one thing I think you're going to have a real hard time with is a second lane of traffic not being created. I mean, everybody's in a hurry. It's just like out the high school. They'll come on the left and right in front of the elementary school, and the middle lane is totally blocked. No one can get through it. But there's nothing, I don't think, unless you're going to put an officer every 100 feet or so, that's going to keep someone that's in a hurry to go on the ramp. And it's funny, Dean said he had 38 signatures. I was out at Mary's on Saturday, and I thought, dang on, there's a lot of cars here. I looked up 28 Dean's, and I circled around. I said, I'm still counting semis here. And there were 38 cars already there on a Saturday, when I assume a lot of people are probably gone. But you can imagine you take that many people and cram maybe another 20 cars on top of it. And I think your other big issues, as this lady said, everybody's in a hurry. Everybody's gonna be jammed up. So you'd say, well, somebody will back up a little, somebody go here or there. Well, they're not gonna be able to. And I think you might think I'm exaggerating, but I think you're gonna see some people, some very angry people, between drivers and homeowners, and no telling where that could go. And I guess on a personal standpoint for Mary, she has to take her grandchild to school every day during this time. And she said this, and I thought it was a joke. She just thinking ahead, she said, well, I guess I would go over and park at the post office, and that way I can walk over there and get out and get him to school on time. Thinking better than my bus. But anyway, I hope everybody will give it lots of consideration.
You talking on the
Yes.
traffic?
Tim Altizer, 205 Old Kentucky Turnpike. I've heard a lot of talk about Main Street here, River Road, Central Avenue. There's one street in this town that no matter where this traffic goes affects, and it's Old Kentucky Turnpike.
Amen.
I agree. It turns into a racetrack over there once school starts. And that's not a shot at you, Mike. I'm confident that if we see problems that we can address them with you. But no matter what you do with this school traffic, it affects Old Kentucky Turnpike, big time. The problem I had, and I really, when Mike and I spoke about this, and it really didn't dawn on me tonight, when the turning right is my issue. And I can see it relating back to the VDOT comment of making a quick U-turn in Marnay. This traffic that's being forced to go right out here, that is wanting really to go to Richlands, is going to go left back down Old Kentucky Turnpike, increasing our traffic flow there even more. During these school days, if me or my wife are leaving our house, you have to realize too, if you ever drive down through there, the homes on Old Kentucky are built very close to the street. You have to put your nose out to be able to see. If my wife or I, either one, are leaving during this time, we have to go out with each other to make sure nothing's coming. I couldn't tell you how many times I've about been hit, whether it be school traffic or just normal times, and I'm sure y'all see the same thing. So that I see, there's going to be a lot of, whatever you decide, unless you completely kill it tonight, there's going to be a lot of monitoring out here, at River Road, down Central Avenue. Don't forget about us folks on Old Kentucky Turnpike. I can see this thing impacting us also, because what would Tim Altizer do? He wanted to go to Richlands after just dropping his kids off. I'm going coming back down Old Kentucky Turnpike, coming out at the bridge, and I'm going to Richlands. So don't forget about us. So if this is implemented in any shape, way, form, trial period, or whatever, I would ask for some monitoring on Old Kentucky Turnpike also.
Yeah, I would also ask for the monitoring. Would you hear, Mike, we had the road slide off on Old Kentucky? Yeah, we met, Terry? We met probably 3 or 4 times, and they went ahead and fixed that road, but there's really no guardrail over. That's the only thing that kind of bothers me. It's tight. It's tight on that road. It really is. It's a tight road. It's newly paved. I really don't want to.
Don't even think about putting it back over on their street either.
We're putting it
I put up
and you'll have records of everybody.
I put up with them for about 7 or 8 years.
Yeah,
And what I knew, I couldn't even get into the driveway.
But anyway.
I got one quick question. I'm sure I missed it. The folks that are in their residence and leaving, are they expected to go left or right or either way?
If you leave your residence and you come down Central Avenue, or you go down River Road, depending on how you want to go out. Once you get to the end of Central Avenue, there's big misconceptions, rumors, and complaints I was hearing that we were shutting Central Avenue down. If you live here on River Road or Central Avenue, and you come out to the stop sign here, not on the school lot, on the stop sign here, right or left, that's your lot. Because the bottleneck that you referred to was, it's always out here between the hours of 15 or 5 minutes to 8 and 10 minutes after. is that you got people coming off the lot, wanting to turn left, we're trying to put traffic in this direction, there's a bottleneck right here to the Central Avenue. And maybe I missed this, but they're talking about one lane of traffic. You can come and go off the River Road. If you go to River Road, you can go out River Road and come down Central Avenue. We're not putting in 2 lanes.
Right.
Just the one
I'm
lane
just
coming
saying
in.
the traffic was probably created around 2 lanes.
As sporadic as traffic is in the mornings, I mean, has anybody been here other than Mr. Lau with the school traffic in the mornings? As sporadic as it is coming in?
One way.
No, no, it's not. That's one of the big misconceptions, that nobody's coming to talk to us.
So you're saying, for example,
You can't go out, but you can come down this way.
No, you gotta go right.
You can go take a right or left?
Yes.
The
Yeah, in his
residents,
presentation, he said, people live here go left or right, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, as long as you're going to the school parking. lot.
Coming out here, but you can't go out.
Yes,
You can't go
Yeah,
out.
right.
You can go out, you can go out the other way.
But if you come out,
You didn't say that, did you?
Yeah, we allow for the presentation.
He said it was a one-way and you could
It's
not
all
go out
about,
there.
it's all about one lane coming in.
but if someone comes out,
And said it is gonna have 2 lanes going down that way. One coming in, one going out.
One coming in, one going out.
Well, here's the thing, we don't have to, I mean, if he specifically put there, it will not be 2 lanes, 100%, but what they're telling y'all can pretty much come and go as you want.
Right.
You wanna come and go as you want, that's what you're saying, basically, right? Or that's what you're saying, come and go as you want.
If you get out.
If you live on Central Avenue, and you don't feel comfortable getting on Central Avenue, you can go down River Road, but you can stop signing the left or right.
They're coming around their type and they don't wanna let me in.
I wanna,
That's the problem.
everybody gets to talk about it, I don't wanna
The
talk.
traffic's around.
And then if I have to have him there at a certain time, and the traffic is not moving that fast, by the time I go out here at Sonny Hills and pick him up, he's gonna be late for school.
We have 2 great grandkids that live on Central and River Road. They have to be in high school.
That's what I'm thinking.
Here.
Now, if I back out my driveway and nobody wants to put me in
but the
line,
question I have, if Mary backs out of her driveway and she turns right, does she have to follow the school traffic?
that's
Or does she follow the left-hand lane that's not being used?
Here's what he's saying, she backs out, the traffic's coming this way.
Right.
And she wants to come this way, so she's gonna have to pass them people, right?
If they let you.
if they'll let you,
Well,
or
that
even
lane
if they
will
let
be-
me
that's what I'm
in.
saying.
The
They
line
can't control cars.
That'll be
You can't
incoming
control
lane in the
people.
parking lot here for the school.
Right.
So if she backs out of her driveway, she turns left, come around towards Central Avenue.
What he's saying is she following the suit.
Yeah, you, I mean.
Well, I guess that was also my issue is if we're in the flow of traffic, so does that mean that we won't be allowed to?
How fast are they going, that flow of
Yeah, like
traffic's
if we're gonna, if we're
go.
supposed to get to in the flow of traffic, so I'm supposed to like back out of my driveway and then wait for someone to let me in and then get in the school line? Or am I gonna be allowed to drive beside them and go on out?
Depending on which direction you're going out. If you back out, back out of your driveway and you turn toward River Road.
Well, I think my question is regardless of which direction I choose to go.
you'll have to
Because,
stay in the right-hand lane is what the officer's saying, no
Right.
matter where you go.
Okay, so-
If you decide to come down this way, you'll have to get in the flow of traffic.
right, but if I
School
choose to
traffic.
go out River Road, I can still just go past them out and left.
Traffic law stays the
Okay.
same.
Right.
Traffic law stays the same.
Yeah, traffic.
Well, see, I guess that was my confusion with where they said that they were making it a one lane,
It's not-
like,
No, it's
No,
not.
no, 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 I'm sorry, yeah.
oh, yeah, that was my, where I was
What
confused.
What I was trying to reiterate is, when you take a left off Cedar Valley Drive, and you take a left onto River Road, it's one lane going up River Road towards Central. That way, if you wanted to leave your house in the morning
Right,
and go out Central, you just pass the vehicles as you're going. When
okay.
you get to the stop
It's
sign,
not gonna be
you can
2
turn left
lanes of
or
traffic
right.
traveling one way.
Right, I guess my
Yeah.
confusion was thinking that they weren't gonna allow the
No,
traffic to
no.
go back the other way during school traffic hours. Okay. That's what I just wanted to clarify.
And one thing, I was talking to the principal too, and she said that, most of the students and kids and everything want to start pulling into school around 7:45, 7:50.
Right,
Is where you're gonna see about 80 to 85% of the traffic.
right. Well, that's
Because
right
those
about the
are
time I
just-
leave
right,
for work.
Right.
Okay, now here is the only issue, and I talked to Ms. Crabtree. the letters have already been sent out, is that correct?
No, they are in the packets, they will be sent out Thursday, so if council shoots this down tonight, which if it happens, that's, you know, I'm completely fine with it, I was just trying to make the congestion more.
So the
Then
letters
tomorrow
have been
morning-
sent out?
No, they will be sent out, they're in the packets to go home with the kids on Thursday, they're already in the packets, if it gets shot down, I will personally go over to the school in the morning and pull every letter myself.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't have a problem doing that at all.
everybody's, we've had enough discussion. If any of y'all have any more questions, concerns, I guess, so you want to go ahead and, Chief, what's your call, I guess? What further motion y'all want to make to?
Just fire a motion.
Is this required?
Because the chief has said this,
Well, the chief is going to go ahead and implement the policy. So if he wants to proceed with the policy or rescind the policy, that's up to him. If the council wants to weigh in on it, then you all can adopt a resolution, disapproving of whatever the proposed plan is or approving the proposed plan. Or you can take no action on it and just let him do what he's going to do.
Well, you good then? What do you got?
A little behind on council's decision. It's just in the mornings, between the hours of about 5 minutes to 8 to a quarter after, or 10 minutes after, 5 minutes to 8 to about 10 after 8, it bottlenecks out here, which automatically jams traffic up here. I've had them pull out of the road and block both lanes of traffic there while you're trying to clear this mess out. You got another mess going on.
So if you keep the traffic pattern the same and when everybody comes out and takes a right, does that take care of the bottleneck?
It should to an extent. I mean, that's.
But then I know it creates traffic for y'all. Don't you look at me like that. So, I mean, I know what you're saying. It's a lot of concern, so I'm just glad everybody got to talk about it.
I guess the one thing I'm looking at it is you got this big school, and it's right beside these houses over here, and then you got the town hall, and then you got the Central Avenue houses. So you got a big school with 500 kids in a very, very small area. So you're trying to figure out what works for everybody, with the traffic flow, with the residents, with everything. Honestly, I've ran over this 100 times. There's no 100% perfect solution.
Absolutely.
There's not. You're not going to find one.
We can all
You
agree.
just have to try to find one that works
Well, the
full
one,
time.
it was working the way we had, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the only problem, like the chief said, I don't know, I didn't know what the bottleneck was. I had come in, he showed me everything, but that was.
Only-
You're gonna have
only
bottlenecks and everything.
100% solution is everybody put their kids on a school bus.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's true.
All the kids now are bobbleheads.
Okay.
My kids never been on
Somebody
that.
riding the bus and eating.
The chief's kind of put it off, I mean, not put it off, but I mean, you're gonna respect the decision of council, so I'll leave that up to y'all. Any more discussion? Anybody want to make a motion to move forward?
I like to say that I see the problem both ways. I don't see where it's fair to put the burden over on 38 people to solve the rest of our problems. We're putting a hardship on them that I wouldn't personally want if I lived there, or if it's my house. I don't see where I would deserve to take all the roughness and let everybody get easiness.
How many times have we changed this pattern?
You've changed it
I know.
4 times in 8 years.
And none of those past patterns have worked.
And the best one that worked is when he took the school buses off in front of here, when the school super, the school transportation manager came down here, and Matt Deal had this thing so messed up that you couldn't even get off in the 4 lane, up, at the red light. Okay, they brought, the people went to Miss Moyer. Miss Moyer went to Bucky. Bucky went to the transportation superintendent up there, Richard Mullins, I believe it is. So Richard comes down here and spends about 2 weeks making plans, monitoring everything and so forth. And his first plan was take the buses out of this side of the street over here and put it on the back side of that school over there, where them kids comes out of the covered area, gets on that school bus from the high school, makes that first lane to the left, gets right back on 460, done. Next morning, they come in the same way, come out right there at that stop sign, police officer stops, Danny and them stops the traffic, the buses come right out here, them children was gone. Nobody got out, you know. But the car riders, he brought the car riders over here, took them off and standing out here under gazebo. That's where they was standing when they got out of school. And the parents was coming in, picking them up, and they was parked in Brad's place over here and had the street blocked off. Was running over top of Miss Short's flyers and stuff over here, and was parking in Joe and M's lane, you know, in their yard and everything. I mean, it was a cluster. It was until he came down here and figured the pattern out that they had, which we got now. That was the pattern, and that letter referred to that same pattern. That the school board and the officers, which during all this time, Matt was let go, you know, during all this time. See, you know, you remember all of that. And you made Sean the chief. Sean didn't have a bit of problem with it, whatsoever, and didn't have none until the day he left. So, well, that's the story right there. And now we want to change it again. There ain't nothing wrong with it. You just have, you know, clean up the little bit parts of it, you know. You know, don't burden these people like this right here. I mean, and 80% of the people are our age, you know, on this block, you know. So.
Okay, we're good with discussion. Do I have a motion on the floor? To squash
Well, would it be a good idea just to not load on this tonight, just kind of take a day or two? And
You don't have to, school starts back Thursday.
I know it starts back Thursday, but we're gonna have, looks like we're gonna have to, I don't know what else to do. Go ahead and implement this plan and go from there.
I guess the letters have to go out tomorrow, is that correct?
No, they go out Thursday, but like I said, tomorrow being Wednesday, if it gets shot down tonight, and then I will personally go over to the schools in the morning, and we'll go through every single 500 packets and pull that letter.
School starts Thursday, you're gonna let them do the normal.
School starts Thursday.
You're letting them do the normal.
This implementation would, on the letter, I think you all have, that is going to the parents, will be starting Monday morning, the 19th.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, Thursday and Friday is half a day. A lot of the parents will be, especially kindergartners and pre-K kids, will be walking their kids into the schools. So,
That's just cancel, it's whatever you want to say.
If it's okay if I say just one more thing really, really quickly.
Sure.
I think a lot of the issue that some of us had is that we felt like we were not asked about this. It was more like we were notified after the fact. And that was with myself as well. It's not so much an issue with the plan or with all of this. It was a sense that, that we didn't matter. So I feel like that's where a lot of like the anger is coming from, a lot of like the resentments for the plan.
Well, I really think the police was trying to look out for the safety of the kids.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I mean, my kids are grown now, and I'm not understanding it as much as I did when they was little. But just like down Bristol, Virginia, they was doing the same thing, like the kids out in front of the school, 2 kids got hit. They moved them through the neighborhood, dropping them off in the school, just keep the safety of these kids. And that's another thing we got to look at is the safety of the kids. I mean, not just...
Well, you're dropping them off right there within 15 yards of the door.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about as safe as you can get, ain't it?
You're right, but the one thing you got to think about too, though, a lot of them pull out here, and the police can't be everywhere, just like they can't be back there where y'all are at.
That's right.
A lot of them will pull out there and the kid will get out and jump and run. There's a lot of contracts coming down through here now. And
Get out work.
they will pull up beside the sidewalk and the kid will jump out and start running toward the school.
They don't
You
have
just
to
said-
jump
you
out
ju-
over
you
there,
just said
they're
you
right
should-
here.
Exactly right, but they do, that's what I'm saying, I'm not saying
But
they
you said
do.
you got teachers over there that's gonna handle this.
But that's what I was telling you about a police, they can't have a police on every driveway on River Road.
You don't need a police. You got your teachers that's
Exactly.
standing right there.
But the teachers are over here, if a car stops out here, say in front of Brad's, and the police is down there on River Road, police are up here. And that kid gets out of that car in front of Brad's and goes running that way. See, they can't control that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That teacher is responsible for putting that kid back in that car.
But that's of the morning's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about putting it in the lead. I'm talking about of the morning. If a car comes up through there and they just pull in, I've seen it happen. You know where they just stop right there, they're running late. And they stop in front of Brad's and that kid gets out and takes off down that sidewalk running. And I'm not saying it will happen, but I'm saying the police was trying to look out for the safety of the kids. They're not trying to look out for.
Well, that kid ain't supposed to be out of that car.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a parent's fault.
That's a parent's fault.
That's a parent's fault.
It's not the
but-
police, it's not the school.
Right.
It's the parent's fault.
Parent's fault. But if that kid gets hurt, it's that parent's fault, yes.
Yes, it
But that
is,
kid's hurt,
absolutely.
and that's what I'm
That's the
saying.
liability's laying on her until it comes on this parking lot.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, the police was trying to look out for the safety of the kids.
Right.
That's what they was trying to look out for. And,
Well,
you know,
Well,
they can't
Why-
control if a parent lets them
why that same kid not do that,
on River Road. I understand.
yeah, exactly.
How hard would it be for us to, put all coal trucks or tractor trailers not coming through town?
You have
And
to
go
give
up
a
to the
VDOT.
4-lane.
You have to give a VDOT.
Yeah.
Any change of state road, you gotta do it. Here's the last question. Say 2 months from now, could we go back to this if you decided to? Or is this something just has to happen now?
No, this is, like I said, from the get-go, when this was planned, this is not a set in stone, this is what's gonna happen, this is the way it's gonna be thing. This is just a temporary look at.
But what I'm saying is you
Look
get
at
shot
it,
down
you work at
tonight,
it,
2
and-
months from now, you can, if you want, it's something you can go back and do. It's just something don't have to be done now.
If you get shot down tonight, then we're just gonna go back to what we did last year. You know, Dean's talking about it worked perfect last year. I wasn't here last year. Dean was talking about it's worked it's been changed 4 different times. I haven't been here during the change, okay? I've been here since July 15th. That was my first assignment, was looking at the traffic pattern. I looked at it. That's what I thought was best. You got 38 people that's saying it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's in your all's hands.
Well, that's why we have a
I will
meeting
work
that
with
way,
the
like-
residents, I will work with the council
And
to
these right here is,
make everything go good.
is the
Okay.
people that spoke, you know.
Well, we're good on discussion. If the council is, I'm good. If y'all are good with discussion, I'm gonna let Kenny speak.
Did you say that the gentleman from VDOT was going to come down and third?
Well, here's what he said. He said they get involved because they have a place in Bristol that all they do is traffic patterns. And he said, if they come down and get involved, you don't have a choice. If they make a traffic pattern, then it's stuck. That's how it works. You know, and I'm pretty sure they've had a hand in helping some of those local schools too. And he just said, if y'all could work it out, I'd prefer y'all to. If you need me, I don't mind to come down.
Because what VDOT, when they rule on something,
That's it.
it's in stone, and, you know.
I mean, if they decided the best route was come in front of your house and go all over, that's just what they would do.
Sorry, we have to go,
That's
but
fine.
thank you so much for listening to us all.
But we just want to make sure that I like to keep it with us. We got a nice time. And you know, nothing against TJ, you're the new guy. I mean, it's gonna be like this. I mean, everybody has a
That's
problem with you. But go ahead.
Do you have a problem with VDOT getting involved?
Huh?
You have
Well, I don't see where they need to get involved.
Okay.
Y'all run the city. I mean, can y'all not?
Well, I mean, if this can't be worked out, well, I mean, we're gonna have somebody come in here and look at
Who
Board
don't
of
want
Education or
Real
somebody.
quick though, I
We
mean,
Who wants
don't
it
want it.
changed? How many of you all want it changed?
I mean, here's the thing about it is, I talked to, John Watson today, and he told me that he has spoke to several residents on Central Avenue and River Road. He didn't give the names, I'm not worried about the names, okay, but he said that there was concerns and complaints coming from people on Central Avenue and River Road. So, I mean, people have contacted him, because he said he's answered the phone for the last week over it.
Do I hear a motion? Do I have a motion? That's what I'm looking for. Or y'all leave it the same?
Here, two things. It wasn't just the traffic pattern that I heard was the objection. It's also the objection of having out-of-town residents coming through your neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless if it's
Yeah.
getting out of your driveway. Strangers, so to speak.
Yeah.
In your neighborhood.
Yeah, because y'all are catering to all these other people, you know, and not considering us, you know, with the taxpayers.
Well, my first inclination was give them a month to see if what you said about the traffic was true, you know, was a problem. But it's not the traffic, it's the numbers of people coming through your neighborhood that don't live there.
Well,
That sounds like.
Well, that's
I think
right.
part of it. It's two
Yeah.
things, it's not just one.
Yeah, you know, you don't turn this school traffic through here, you know, the neighborhood's fine. It's simple as that, you know. And most of these people that's coming through here, they're from everywhere, you know, and it's not just the Cedar Bluff, the people that pays the taxes coming down that road. It's everybody, you know, and that's you know, that's my concern, you know, and the extra traffic with all of that fumes and exhaust and everything. These people living right on the edge of the hard top, you know, with their flowers and their bushes and destroying their, you know, and like I say, you know, I know this is more than traffic, but once they get their foot in the door, it's just like they did the last time. It was pure murder, was it not, Jerry? It's pure murder to these people out here, pure murder.
So I have to.
I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah,
I really do, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know what the solution is.
I need a motion on that.
I make a motion that, we've not heard from nobody outside of the citizens of Cedar Bluff. And we work for the citizens of Cedar Bluff. I make a motion that we decline doing anything with it right now.
Going back to what we did last year, so what you're talking about?
Not making no move to put traffic back here. And I think everybody will agree with us. We work for the pleasure of citizens of Cedar Bluff. I'm hearing the citizens of Cedar Bluff saying no. I'm not hearing no citizens of Cedar Bluff say, yeah, do it. And to me, my duty is to the citizens of Cedar Bluff. And I make a motion that we do what they've asked us to do, decline.
There's a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I second. Do it after vote, I second.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Chief, you good with that?
Yes, sir.
No hard feelings, nobody?
No.
It's good to go, I promise.
Good luck.
No hard feelings with
You
both
guys,
y'all.
you guys did your job, I mean, and people are doing their job, I mean,
They did it and I respect it.
Yeah.
But each of us are working for the citizens of Cedar Bluff. I'm not obligated to Richlands or Claypool Hill. I'm obligated to the citizens of Cedar Bluff.
That's my whole
Thank
theory.
you.
And as far as I can tell in this meeting,
That's my whole theory, right there.
they're the only ones that spoke up. I'm not having
Okay.
nobody else say something.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
and
true.
next, I'm gonna have Officer Ryan Lark come up so we can move on with the meeting.
I'm gonna try not to take up any more time than necessary. Over the past few weeks, myself and Chief Brown have had several complaints about people burning household trash in the town. Currently, we do not have an ordinance against burning of household trash. The county does have an ordinance. It is County Section 17-33, subsection A.
It's in your all's packets.
It states, it shall be unlawful to dump, burn, destroy, or otherwise dispose of solid waste within the jurisdictional limits of the county, except at the county-approved landfill approved by the Commonwealth Department of Health. I would like to ask the council to consider adopting an ordinance similar to solve the complaints of the burning of trash, the smell. There was one business that had an issue. I think their HVAC system sucked it into the business, produced a very foul odor throughout the business. Like I said, I would just ask the council to consider that.
That's all. I didn't know if there was like a statewide time and dates and all that stuff. I didn't know. 'Cause I don't think we can adopt what Tazewell has. Is that correct? We have to do our own order.
You can mirror, but I mean, it has to be its own order.
That's right after your own.
Yeah.
Put it on
But-
the agenda.
Yeah, we can table it and let these guys work on the ordinance of it or everything else.
It needs to be, the planning commission felt slighted, didn't they, Tim? Over the mobile home ordinance when we voted on it. And I told them, you know, I would reiterate to you all that from now on, before we do anything, we kick it down to the planning commission. That's the way the board of supervisors does it. Give them a review so they can review it, and then after they pass it, it'll be brought back up before us. So I would say table it, pass it down to the planning commission, and then I think so, it'd be fine.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Are y'all okay with that? Tabling it to the next one? Thank you, Mr. Lord. Okay, public comment. I feel like we're all, town manager's report, I'm gonna let Mr. Action do the
Okay, we're gonna be switching over to FMS from CityPack on September 23rd. That's on all of our new servers. Looking forward to that. Of course, we're gonna have meters read by the 23rd of September early on with Jen.
She said everything had to be interfaced and done, and they will be here October 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 2nd, 3rd, 4th for our training.
But for that 1 week, it's gonna be basically paper.
Everything will be handwritten.
Right, because our computers will be down. Cigarette stamps, we just sold 30,000 cigarette stamps to Core-Mark. They mailed us the money for them, so we got all that set up. With the planning commission, Cornerstone, of course, we approved through the planning commission for Rick Witt to build his cafeteria beside his church. The only thing is we was wanting to have input on the colors he chooses for the building, just because that's a historical district over there on Old Kentucky. And Jerry and Kenny, I got 2 quotes for the carport that you all wanted for the crash trucks. I got a guy to come out and measure. He said that we was going to have to get them a little taller just because those crash trucks in front of the fire department where they got the lights on them, just to get them out of the weather. He measured a 20 by 21, said that's what we needed on for the crash trucks. I'm getting a quote for the metal roof for the fire department. I still haven't got the quote, but I had talked with people to get the quote for the roof, to finish up the metal roof on the fire department. And
That's the labor putting it on.
yeah, labor to put it on. And we have several brochures back there in my office, maybe in executive session we can look at them. I know they want to do a fence there in front of the POW there on the overlook. Mr. Heron looked at that brochure. You picked out a real pretty fence that you would think would look good. What we do, we have a problem with people pulling up and pulling off the gravel, smashing the gravel, making a mess there. So we're going to have to do a little wrought iron fence or something about like you've got at your place. And let's see. Oh, there is one more thing. Davey Woodard reached out to me. I gave you all one before the meeting. And this is through the Heart of Appalachia. He will be advertising in 3 different pamphlets. Let me see. One pamphlet is the Spearhead Trail pamphlet. The other pamphlet's Back of the Dragon / motorcycles. And the other pamphlet will be the kayak. Of course, that's what we're going to be big on. And the jog on. Those pamphlets will be through all the, I guess, the tourism centers in the state of Virginia. Plus, we'll be on 4 different websites, not to mention, if we need any, and he based this solely on our population, if we need any help with like design, I know Linda had some design questions in our meeting yesterday with the City Blow Festival. That will be absolutely free. They'll send a guy up and work with us on our designs, the fur pamphlets, and all that, our brochures here. They're asking for $1,500. We do have that in the budget to cover that. I just need a motion and for you all to approve that.
I'm on the tourism
Right.
board for the county.
Right.
And they do need the brochures and things. I mean, if we're gonna advertise our area,
If we're
we
gonna
gotta
really
do it.
get connected to the job on what
Yes,
Richlands want to do,
that's
bring
it.
up City
That's
Bluff,
what
and
you
then the
gotta
Spearhead
do.
Trail coming down into Middle Creek, and, you know, with kayaking and all, if we're really gonna get on board and push the town, you gotta do that.
And back at the Dragon.
Right.
I went over, when was it, the other day, and they were out of back at the Dragon brochures, so. It's a good thing.
Motion made by Mr.
So what we gonna advertise the town itself?
Yeah, it'd be the town itself and,
Festival?
festivals and all, yeah, absolutely. And then, like I say, Linda's got a design question on some paperwork or whatever.
Yeah. We got a motion on the floor to have a second.
I'll say.
Let Jerry second.
Motion by Kenny.
Yes, second. Second by Jerry.
Right.
Thank you, guys. You got some more stuff?
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff. I got a bunch. I've been busy. Hey, that's why they call me Blabster. Okay, right here. Right here, it is a, school board approved the garbage truck transfer last night for the town of Cedar Bluff that I was able to broker a deal with Davey Woodard on that. The only problem is we will not be able to take possession of the garbage truck until probably October for the town, just because they've sent out bids. They haven't bought, their new garbage truck hasn't arrived for the school system, so they're still using it. As soon as they get the new one in, we'll get their garbage truck, then we'll turn our garbage truck over to the town of Pocahontas. So, I mean, that's a, their garbage truck is bigger than our current garbage truck, much nicer. I mean, it was really a good deal for the town. Let me see. John Reedy, I got his quotes in for the asphalt and College Hill Indian Springs, looks great, everything. I'm in the process right now of getting everything worked up at the bank like we talked about, Jerry. And he just completed the patchwork on all the water utility lines there. We just got that in. Edgewater Drive, I got it all mowed, weed eated, the blind curve fixed from there, got the guardrail cleaned all the way to York Prince's driveway. If you're coming out of Edgewater Drive, I got that tree cut down there that was pushing the sidewalk up there at the VIP. Ken Shepherd was actually with me when they cut that tree down. When Ken was on side by side. Overlooked Park, got it mowed, trees cut, plus got the POW cleaned and cut. Hurt Buggy Road, got it taken care of, plus the blind spot turning from Indian Creek towards the transfer station. It's been mowed and cleared. Preparation is being made to clean and cut trees. Town Hall, Post Office, just get ready for the festival. And we're also going to weed eat back from the bridge to York Lindsay's driveway, and that's pretty much it. So that's what's under preparation. We just haven't got that taken care of yet, that last one. Well,
You got that for yet? There's a tree that seems to block that street light. You know, we had a street light, considered one there on the other side of the bridge, and it's like a walnut tree that spreads out. Is there a chance to have that popped for the street light dead where it is, so that light comes against the bridge? I don't know who, if that's town or.
Where's that at?
Right?
It's the one that we've always talked about. It's at VDOT.
So that's the problem.
Well,
But
no,
what we-
VDOT. They said if we would go by their codes, that we could, they would allow us to cut some trees and top them. So
Maybe someday, I mean, it would keep us trying to put another street.
Where's it at? When you go to the bridge, going to other bridge to my house.
I'll show you.
It's that light right there at the bridge, it kind of blocks the trees and stuff. It's before you go down.
We'll get that taken care of.
But negate having to buy another street light down.
Right.
What about this tree out front of town hall?
He showed it to me.
Well,
That thing's dangerous.
it's dangerous. It's got a big rock limb on it. I showed it to Chuck this afternoon, and he's going to give me a quote on it. But that one limb is very dangerous. I mean, it is extremely, it's hollowed out. You know, that's, after I noticed it, after I seen it, I started parking over here to the side, because if it falls, it'll destroy those cars. I mean, that's a monster.
Well, should leave your truck out there and sacrifice for this.
Yeah.
Get a sign out there that says trees might fall. It's a pick you up his trucks, I swear. Yeah.
That's it.
You know, he did walk me around the building. We got some trees, we started to do some damage to trees out back, and John's looking at getting those cut too, or maybe topped or whatever, make them look good. You got anything else to do?
I believe that's it.
Those trees back there need to be topped about 3 inches from the ground.
I do, yeah.
We don't have to have something.
Yeah.
They need to be topped.
So we'll do all that.
Okay.
No more town manager report, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Johnny. Go ahead, John.
I vote yes.
Aye.
Who made the motion?
Kenny made the motion.
Kenny. And who seconded it?
Smith.
Okay, John.
Okay, town reports, fire department, police and water. Y'all have those?
We got the police. These are for the month of July, 3 monthly meetings, 2 calls during the month. Junior firefighter Austin Brown completed the firefighter 1 certification, in-house training on pump operations. And Mike Brown completed his firefighter 1 certification. Total hours of meeting and training 72, total hours on call 17. That's all I have.
This is a water report for July. We repaired a main leak on the Shannon Heights, repaired service line leak in Indian Creek, installed 126 new meters and radios. That's the meters that were read by handheld. Completed EPA unregulated sampling. All samples taken came back. There were no positive samples, they were good. We'll be replacing the numerous meters in the coming weeks. Some customers' water will be shut off temporarily for the new installations, which is part of phase 2 grant project.
And the police report, they've been busy again this month. They had total calls that they responded to were 53. They worked 2 accidents. Total arrests in the town were 3. Total stops, 40. Traffic summons issued, 22. Traffic checkpoints, 1. Total town tickets issued, 1. Assist other jurisdiction, 5. K-9 deployments, none of those, and no DUI arrests. And they, total number of miles that they patrol were 3,670 miles.
Good job.
It shows that they're out there.
They're out there, they're working. And then they had a training, you want me to get the training reports too, or is that?
It doesn't matter. We don't mention on the last page, the neighborhood watch meeting. Those 2 pages.
Well, they did some training this month. In July, they did Officer Lark attended the first 3 seconds training in Duffield, Virginia. The training concentrates on officer safety when confronting violent subjects. The police department participated in the Jeep Poker Run at Richlands High School to raise funds for the anti-bullying campaign. On July the 13th and July the 22nd, they did the police department issued with the town's movie night, so they were involved in that. And making the announcement tonight that they filled the position of school resource officer, who we met, TJ Crabtree, for Cedar Bluff Elementary. The town received a grant through DCJS. And then they have a patrol car that was donated, and it's up and running. So currently, when we got it, it wasn't doing so well. But you got it, it was sick, but you got it in good shape.
The whole thing we do is swap it up, put the radio in.
Okay, it's up and running. And currently working with Tazewell Communication Center to upgrade their radio system from our radio system from analog to digital. And they're increasing the range and clarity of the radio transmissions. And they received 3 new Windows 10 meters donated to the agency. And they're working with the Boy Scouts of America exploring a project to start a police explorer program in our area of Tazewell County. Doing a good job.
Absolutely. Okay, next is closed session as needed, section 2.2-3711-A1, personnel matters, town manager and maintenance position, section 2-3711-A7, legal litigation, section 2.2-3711-A2, non-legal contracts. Do I hear a motion to go into closed session?
Can I ask one question?
Yes, sir.
What is the status on this grant on the park on
Oh, the T21? Well, actually,
progress or what?
well, no, we're in a complete standstill as far
And
as I know.
I'll tell you why. The T21 grant, it's going into phase 3. Of course, it's going to affect every one of these property owners here. And I was going to ask them to see if maybe we could move that money around somewhere. Do y'all want a sidewalk going all the way up on both sides and take your front yard up? Phil Blankenship's not here now, but that's the next part of the grant, to the T21 grant. I was going to ask VDOT personally to see where we paid into that grant, could we move those funds somewhere else to benefit something else part of the town? Because what they're proposing under that grant on the 3rd phase is to put a sidewalk on your all side and on Phil Blankenship's side, right here, all the way around. And then those front yards are not big at all. I mean, they're tiny.
Well, the road ain't wide enough.
That's right. Well, I'm just saying, you know, but they're wanting to put a 3-foot sidewalk on both sides.
No.
All the way around. So I've sort of been just kicking the can down the road to get direction from the council, but I really didn't want to tackle that because if I lived back there with no more front yard than you all have, I would not want that.
No.
I mean, you know.
No,
So.
I can guarantee you all of the residents would say no on that.
I know they would. Right.
I like to come by and walk by your house.
Yeah.
Little Mickey, I'm anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what that's where we're at on the T21 grant. That's the reason I haven't went after it. I really need to get up with the guy from Hill Studio. I got his name back there in my office, but that's what they're wanting to do. I was wanting to just move that money around and say, hey, what can we get and not do that? You know, or somewhere else.
I didn't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
We don't approve all their expenditures as counting towards the grant, because there was a time there when that's when the grant was held, they weren't going to approve our contributions.
Right.
Well, I talked to them, and actually, they're working on it for us because there's some things with rights. They're working for us. Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
Who made the motion? Terry and Kenny said,
No, you go ahead. You got it, Jim?
yes, sir.
Okay.
They started that.
I'm sorry, well, it's not seeing
Johnny.
I vote that you